Hey everybody, welcome to Intentionally Fit. This is Heather, and today we're going to talk about um, how to give yourself some grace. We've been talking about perfection this week, and on purpose, I didn't give it to you right away, and then I skipped another day, so now I'm a little bit later than I wanted to, so I'm going to have to give myself some grace. So let's talk about how we can do that. I think one of the hardest things in life, really, is to give ourselves grace for the things that we see that we've done wrong or not accomplished well enough. I think it's much easier to give other people grace than it is to give ourselves grace. And it's a battle, I think, sometimes. So let's talk about some ways to build grace into your health and fitness plan. First of all, and I think this is really the important part, I think that you need to view this as a lifestyle. When you view your health and fitness journey as a diet or a 21-day set of days and 60, 90s, then there's an end point, and that feels like there needs to be perfection in between this starting and this end point. But what I want you to see is that your health and fitness is a lifelong pursuit. It's not something that you do only for 21 days and then go back to eating poorly again. Then that's really not helping your body at all. See, your body needs to be fueled correctly and taken care of so that it will do those things that you want it to do. So I think in the first place, if you view this as a lifestyle, a full lifetime event, then there's a lot of room in there. And so in that, you can create a realistic plan for where you are and build in maybe a cheat meal or a cheat day or something like that. And it gives you a little bit less restriction and feels like you have to fight yourself less. When I first started doing a health and fitness kind of lifestyle, I started with a work 5 days on and have one cheat day a week. So I would keep from eating all of this other stuff, and then one day a week I would eat whatever I wanted, burgers, candy, cake, whatever. And so that worked for that period of time that I was in. And maybe that's where you are. Maybe you are in a time period that you can, in your head, see, I can be really good during the week and pick one day that I'm not so good. And then that gives you a way to choose. Like if you know you have a wedding coming up, you use that as your cheat day. If you know you have a birthday party or something like that you have to be at, you can plan that in advance. And I think that's one of those things that gives you a little bit of leeway with making mistakes and keeping right on track, is that if you plan something and you know that you're going to say, I'm going to eat some cake on that day, I'm going to eat a piece, but I'm going to plan that into my lifestyle so that you don't beat yourself up afterwards. And it feels a little bit easier. I feel like that I'm less restricted if I know that I'm going to have a day that I can eat whatever I want. And that worked for us in the beginning. And each phase of your life and your health and fitness journey, it might be a little bit different. But maybe this is a way for you to give yourself some grace in that. The next thing is to choose to see the progress in what you have already accomplished. If you've done 5 days of working out straight, wow, you've done a great job. Even if you missed today, look at all of the things that you've done well. And then instead of beating yourself up and starting all over, take one step forward. Okay? Like when you make a mistake and you miss a day, well, take a step forward and make the next day really good. And take the next workout and work out as hard as you can. And that way you don't fall back down to the beginning, but you move forward just a little bit, enough so that you're not beating yourselves up. I think a lot of this that we deal with when we talk to ourselves in our head, our internal dialogue has a lot to do with how much grace we can give ourselves. So if you're sitting there and you're beating yourself up and berating yourself for not being able to do the moves and not being able to choose well, or that I just don't feel like doing that, then in your head, you're defeating whatever goals you have. So I want to encourage you. We talked about this a little bit before about to take every thought captive. So you grab onto those thoughts and we reverse them and we talk about truth. So this is one of those things that I'm learning. Instead of looking at your body and saying, gosh, I just really hate how I look. Instead of doing that, go, I have strong legs. They help me carry myself up all of the flights of stairs to get to my apartment. They help me walk everywhere I need to go. They get me out of bed. I can move. Look at my hands. Look at my arms. I can hold up my babies. I can care for them. I can do these things. So instead of looking at them and picking out the parts that are negative, why don't we start picking out the positive parts and speaking life into ourselves? I know we do a great job of speaking life into other people, but it's really hard to speak it to yourself. So instead of standing in front of the mirror and saying, you fat pig, I can't believe you ate that, why don't you say, wow, I'm strong. Today I feel good. Today I look like I've gained some muscle. What about looking at things like we have scars? If you're like me and you've had a child and you have stretch marks from one hip to the other hip, and you can look at that and say, instead of going, man, my body is so ugly, my child killed my body, why not wonder at the idea that your body carried a human being for 9 months, that you have the marks, that your body stretched, your heart stretched so that it could incorporate more life. I think that the way we speak to ourselves is so important, and we do such a disservice to ourselves when we belittle ourselves. Finally, the most important thing is that when you fall, because you're going to fall, it's going to happen. None of us are perfect. We talked about that. There was an erroneous belief system that we do not have the ability to always be perfect. And we just don't. When you fall, get up and take a step forward. Move in the direction you want to go. Instead of saying, I messed up here, so I'm going to throw the whole weekend to the curb and eat all the things. I'll just start over on Monday. Instead of doing that, say, I made that mistake here, but this next choice, this next thing, this next day is going to be the best one I've ever made. Let's fall forward into grace, to give yourself the ability and to look past the mistake by choosing something better the next time. And mostly, you just have to not take yourself so seriously. It's just take a deep breath and maybe learn to laugh at yourself a little bit and learn to just, I don't know, maybe we should be Taylor Swift and we should shake it off. I don't know. If that works for you, then it works for you. Maybe you just need to have a dance party. It always brings grace here. It's kind of fun. So I want you to not be so caught up in this illusion that we have of perfection, and I want you to start giving yourself a little bit of grace. I hope that this series has been helpful to you. It's been a little bit difficult for me to try to figure out how to do it all, but I think that we can do it. I will talk to you guys later.